welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Eitayo. It's such a great opportunity and a great time to be here today. And we're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa, and of course to the entire world. If you join us for the first time, it's such a great pleasure to have you. And let us know so we ring the bell of blessing for you just because you joined us on the show. Please do not hesitate. Please do not hesitate to join us in the conversation, ask questions when you have questions, and let us know how we can be a part of your success story. We are having a great time today. We'll be talking about something fantastic, something exciting, something that you would like to learn, something that you will learn from, something that will ultimately spring you into every form of greatness that you truly deserve. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Once again, my name is Ruth Meta. We on the show, we talk about issues that border around the world of education, within the world of education, and we always have our analysts in the studios who share their thoughts on their expertise, and of course, they also tell us um, their own views, and of course, help us to get to learn better on the conversation of the day. And it's always a great time on the show. We have the opportunity to ask questions. So for today's show, please get your questions ready and get yourself set because we're going to be talking about something that is not just for the world of work, but also affects you generally as an individual, as an expert, as a professional. Indeed. So we're going to have that. Our topic today is titled or is tagged Wake Up Determined. Wake Up Determined. This is the Good Morning Education Show. And we will be speaking on Wake Up Determined. Wake Up Determined. Sometimes, living your life every day could be kind of challenging. Doing things consistently could actually be a big time difficulty. It can place a demand on you that you really do not expect that it will be this much. And sometimes people say if you really want to go far, you must be determined. We'll be learning more about this in a short while. But before then, and before our experts come on board, I'm just going to take a short break, and then I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Good Morning Education Show, and we always have a saying on the Good Morning Education. So please, a short break. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay. Welcome back to the Good Morning Education Show, and my name is Rotimi Eitayo, and it's such a pleasure to have you here. And like I said, we'll be having a conversation today. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um, good morning. The show, and we are live from Lagos to the world, and we will be having Wake Up Determined. Wake Up Determined. So many people out there, right, have great desires. There's so many people out there. I'm sure you yourself, you've come across several people who have desires. And a lot of them, sometimes after a while, commence the journey to executing the lives that they desire, to executing the purpose, or to executing the path and the work of what they desire. But one thing that you come to realize is that as they pursue these things, sometimes what happens is that along the line, some things set in. And when those things set in, it affects them at the end of the day. It affects them in in their quality of pursuit, in their quality of work, in the way they do things and all that, you know. And one of the things that I would like you to understand is that when we talk about wake up determined, we're speaking more about you having your mind made up, you having a firm decision or a resolve about something. And so when you get every day, you know, the opportunity to be alive, when you wake up in the morning, our desire for you is not just to wake up in the body, not just to wake up with your eyes open, your ears open, your mouth open. You can stretch your hands, you can move your legs, but we really need you to wake up determined, wake up with a resolve, wake up with your mind fixed, your mind made up. That's what it simply means, you know. And when you do that, it just positions you for a better outcome and almost guarantees that you tend to have a reality that is different from every other person. A lot of people, they say life happens to them. You know why? Because they're subject to the things that just that gets thrown to them every day. You know, you might wake up in the morning and you might go out of in the day never expecting it to rain, and then it rains. You might sometimes not expect someone to disappoint you, and then you get disappointed. But you see, as you step into the year, you know, we've come out of a pandemic. Well, better still, we're still in the way in the pandemic, but we've come out of 2020, which was a shock for a lot of people. Now coming into 2021, and we're already in the second month, we begin to see some things happen to us, you know. And in such situation, you almost wonder, okay, can I go ahead? You know, sometimes you feel discouraged. I feel like can I move forward? Can I do much? And that's really why we're speaking about that today. And of course, I would like you to really I would like you to really ask your questions on the conversation or share your thoughts. Good morning, Gloria. How are you? Gloria Nigeria, thank you for joining the show. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you so much. And thank you for your comments. Right? But then, of course, it'll be nice for us to begin with almost like the most basic thing out of all these things. And so, what does it mean to be determined? When you say an individual is determined, let's say, for example, we say Gloria is determined. What does it mean for that to happen? A person who is determined is considered as one who has firmness of mind, who has firmness of purpose, who is going out almost with the end in mind. You know, I recall many years ago when I used to work in a particular organization. Um, there was a particular individual who was like a superior, and when he comes into the office, I walks into the building, it comes with this aura of excitement, and it just bounces up and says that, guys, so what time are we closing today? you know and everybody's excited. He has this energy, and it's almost a similitude of saying he's waking up determined. You see, if you're going to approach anything with "I will try" resonates or signifies something average. The moment you say, let me try and do it, let me try and go to work, let me try and write that book, let me try and do my part, let me try and carry out my duties. The moment you look at the word try and it's almost coming out in your everyday conversation, you will realize that to say try is almost to approach it with a near possibility of failure, near possibility of non-excellence. And that is what I don't want you to get involved with. We must get to that point as professionals within and beyond, or within and outside the space or the sphere of education. You must make it a point of duty to be an individual who wakes up determined. When you look at some of the mighty, massive projects ahead of you, when you look at some of the massive task of transition, task of takeover, task of succession, task of growth, task of building a new organization from the scratch, task of rebuilding trust in your clients, task of customer acquisition, customer retention. You must understand these things require you to be determined, right? They require you to be determined. And listen, if you do not wake up determined, there's a likelihood there's a big chance, there's a likelihood that the things you do will not just be average, but it will rob you of results. It will rob you of reputation. It will rob you of respect. It will rob you of every form of reward that you might be looking at. And these are things that we don't want to happen. Welcome. Good morning, Gideon S. And good morning. Gideon, how are you today? How's work? How's everything? How's the family? Thank you for joining. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you, Gideon. Gideon is our tribe member, is always joining us. Most times is the first person to say good morning, but I think Gloria Nigeria beat you to it today, Gideon. So yes, Gloria beat you to it. So we're speaking about wake up determined or waking up determined. And please understand, this is not a counsel, it's almost like a command. That for those who really want to do so many things with their lives, right? You must understand it is not a counsel to wake up determined, right? It is a command. It is a must, you know, a command that you must have, you know. There's a must on everyone that really needs to do something with their lives and they want to ensure that they don't get anything to mess it up. You must wake up determined. I must wake up determined. And that's the reason that if you really have anything that requires consistency, like they normally say, consistency gives you a name. Consistency gives an individual a name. Consistency gives an organization a name. Consistency gives a brand a name. Consistency gives, think about it. Whatever product you love a lot, imagine that you go back to the store or the supermarket or the mall to buy that same product and it's tasting different. Um, you would not really be happy about it. For those of you that love biscuits or you love biscuits or you love chocolates, imagine your favorite chocolate bar, and then you're able to, maybe I don't want to mention names, or you're able to buy it on Monday. It tastes in a particular way. Then on Tuesday you buy another, it tastes in a particular way. On Wednesday you buy another, it tastes a particular way. Then you find out that that particular product might begin to have issues in the market space. Why? Consistency is lacking in that thing. Once there's no consistency, it doesn't resonate with the client or customers. It doesn't create that standard acceptance. And at the end of the day, people begin to run away from that product because it's not consistent, right? And if you will be consistent, you need to understand it doesn't just take you showing up, it takes you to be determined. You must wake up determined. Okay, so we have our guest analyst in the studio, Titi. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. This is
Welcome
Titi.
back from your video break.
Good morning, Rotimi.
Hashtag this is Titi.
This is Titi, yeah.
Yes. So, all right. So we're speaking on a topic that we tag wake up determined.
No
Wake
news
up
today.
determined. No news today. No news today. Yeah. So and I was trying to share with people that when it comes to the word wake up determined, it's really an instruction. It's instructive to note that it's not a counsel, it's a command for those who really want to do something. It's a must for them to wake up determined, to approach their business, to approach their work, to approach their results or the outcome of what they seek, in a way where they are determined. Sometimes the strength and the will within the professional is actually what leads to the level of exploits of that professional. So that's really what we're talking about. So I don't know if you're ready to join us to say something. We'd love to hear from you, Titi. What's your thought on that? How do we share to the world out there? For you to wake up is more than just opening your eyes, opening your ears, getting a bath. It's you waking up with that determination, firm resolution. Yeah.
Thank you, Rotimi. It's interesting that a lot of our topics have been on kind of a mindset shift. That's really what I think it's good because at the beginning of the year, that's kind of the fuel you need to not I won't call it fuel, I'll call it rocket fuel, to give you that launch into a year of doing exploits. That's what I would call it. And there's nothing like the mind. It's amazing. The mind is a very powerful tool. Um, a scripture that I like to quote, excuse my for the non-Christians, and it says, "As a man thinks, so is he." And people can quote that scripture and just think it's something to say. It is actually a statement of fact, because you will see people that they've had one disability or the other, and they seem to do great things compared to a same person that has that same disability. And the main difference is really their mind. That's just what it is. The moment you put your mind to do something, it seems as if everything else lines up. Suddenly you start seeing opportunities. Suddenly you start getting connections. Everything just lines up. So when you wake up determined, it's as if you're calling all the wonderful positive forces for you because your mind is made up. Your mind is made up that you're going to conquer. Your mind is made up that you're going to succeed. Your mind is made up that you're going to make your today is not your yesterday. It's going to be so that's what I would start off with saying. That once you make up your mind about something, once you wake up determined, your day just turns out different.
Thank you so much. Gloria Nigeria is asking us. Well, she's saying something and she's asking. She says, I believe determination pays off in the long run. However, if consistent action does not yield commensurate results early on, it can be really disappointing. How can one stay motivated at such times?
Well, I think, the easy way to stay motivated is to look into the lives of other people that have gone the path. It encourages you. We always hear about people when they become successful. So I'll give you an example of, look at someone that is all over the news in the most recent time, Elon Musk. But go and look at how long he has been at this thing. People are now talking about SpaceX, but how many failures has he had? I don't know anybody that comes into instant success. Go and look at the story of even popular musician Beyonce. How many non-hits did she have? Go and look at Tyler Perry. I like talking about him. I was listening to a video recently about him, and he told the story of how many times he had done his shows and it failed. I thought that the whole theater cinema will be full in the beginning when he started, and in the end, you could count the number of people there. Most of them were his family. He did it the first time, he did the second time, he did the third time, he did. So there's listen to those people. So I'm telling you, So I'm always worried when people come and they don't tell you the journey. They make it seem as if they woke up, they put the formula in place, and then it just started working. They won't tell you about the number of times they have used the formula and nothing happened. How many times they had to tweak the formula. So it's sometimes important to look at those people's journey. And that's a way to stay motivated. Go and look at other people's journey that made it. Don't, when we look at some big schools. So I was listening to one of the proprietors of a big school yesterday. And then I looked at, and this school has been in existence for 25 years. Then your school is just 3 years old. Your school is just 4 years old. Then you are giving up. Some people have been at it for 25 years. At what point in time did they have 100 children? Then when did they become known? And when did they, you can talk about schools like Corona. When I was in primary school, Corona was already existed. Corona existed in the 60s. They existed in the 60s. How old is Green Springs? Just to give, put some schools in perspective. How old are they? So I think it's important that you try to realize that there are a lot of people that have gone this journey. Go and read their journey stories. Let it encourage you. Don't look and say, oh, this person made it big at 30. But since when did the person start the journey? Another biblical story I will use is the story of Joseph. Joseph started his journey at what? 17. His journey to be a leader started at 17. He didn't get there till he was 30. But people can look at it and say, 30 under 30. A blow. Forgetting that this 30 under 30 has been on the journey for years. So that's why it's important that when you have someone that you admire, so I'm just trying to get this myself to be in the center. When you have someone that you admire, go and look into the person's story. Go and read the person's biography, and look at the journey. Another person I would like to mention is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, popular Oprah Winfrey that we all know. Go and look at her journey. How long did it take? How many times was the door shut in their face? And did she give up? Go to any profession. Go and look at Serena Williams, who is now a top tennis player, won how many, over 23 Grand Slams. But go and look at her journey, her journey to getting there. So let those things be your motivation. Motivation of journeys of other people that have gone through the path that you're going to. And it wasn't a, whatever. In the end, I would end with this quote by Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs says that the difference between successful people and not successful people is perseverance. That's, I'm just searching now for the exact quote. He said the difference between, the difference between successful people, the difference between successful people and not successful people, that's what it is. It's just perseverance. You need to keep that. Look at Steve Jobs' journey. People are talking Apple. It wasn't always like that. Even YouTube that we talk about, it wasn't always like that. Every great thing takes, and it needs you to be determined. Okay. Good morning, KK in the house.
Good morning.
Every great thing takes time. Fantastic way to end that. Every great thing takes time. Titi, thank you for that submission. Welcome, KK. KK, you're looking like a teenager this morning.
I found the exact quote.
I'm looking like
a teenager this morning.
We have a teenager today.
Yeah, I found the exact quote.
Okay.
By Steve Jobs. I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from non-successful ones is pure perseverance. I'm convinced that what separates half of it, or what separates successful entrepreneurs from non-successful ones, is perseverance. I mean, if you wake up every day and look at that in the mirror, that scene in the mirror, it will go, push harder a bit more.
Thank you so much for that. So today we're speaking on Wake Up Determined. If you're just joining us, this is the Good Morning Education Show, and we are here and live. And we're speaking on Wake Up Determined. Wake Up Determined. Yes. So this is a message for everyone out there who probably is needing that push, that nudge, or that rewiring of some sort. Just to know that, look, it will really, really require you to do more than open your eyes. You need to wake up determined. KK, welcome to the show. Do you want to share some thoughts with that?
Yes, people don't understand. I think the problem is that, right? people go into this entrepreneurship business and even into life in general, because it's not just an entrepreneur that needs to be determined, it's everybody in life, right? You know, people go into it with the rose-colored spectacles, assuming that everything is just gonna be all right, you know, and sometimes it really is. You have to get off your butt and do the work. You have to put in the time. And to be honest with you, some people are not going to rub your back, right? I was in a job where there was nobody rubbing my back. No, at some point, I mean, I was having a discussion with an employee this morning, and I said, look, the difference between being that employee that everybody wants to connect with is not just your performance, it's beyond your performance. Because I've seen high performers that nothing, they don't go anywhere. I said, it's just that extra that you put in connecting with other people, connecting with things that don't even have any business with what you are doing sometimes. So waiting for somebody to come and motivate you, I think you're wasting, I think you're not ready for this, whatever it is that you have decided to want to do. You're gonna have to wake up. There's something called grit. Put on your big boy pants and just move. Whatever needs to be done, you get it done. You know, if you can collaborate, great. If you have somebody that will rub your back, great. If you don't, wake up, go to work, do what you need to do. All right. If you have the goal before you, you will endure that cross, and you will endure it not because sometimes you don't even notice it's a cross. Sometimes it's so heavy that you cannot even get up with the weight of it, but you keep going over and over and over again, one foot in front of the other. You keep going. You actually do wake up determined that, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. Let me try one more day. Let me try one more day. And you've been doing it for years. Okay, so, and I'm not saying go into it blindly. You must know that what you are doing makes sense, first of all, right? So when you've decided that, you know what, I'm going to do this thing, why are you deciding to do it? Is it a valid reason? Or are you doing it because everybody else is doing it? If it's because everybody else is doing it, you're going to keep looking to everybody else for your inspiration. But if you're doing it because you really wanted to do this, then there's something that drives you beyond the passion. It is the drive to succeed at it, to make something of it. Okay, and another thing that you need to wake up determined to do is wake up determined to show up every day consistently and functionally. You're not just waking up determined, you're waking up determined and you're doing something with that determination. Okay, if you don't do anything, then all your lovely determination, you can just keep it in your box and lock it. Okay, so wake up determined and wake up determined and do something and do it consistently. Yeah, so those are
so much.
Am I here by myself?
No, we
Yes,
hear you.
today was bought. All right. He did.
I'm just
There's a question here.
Me.
Is being determined a positive thing? Is it something that has to do with positivity?
No. Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah. Yes and no.
So let's have some additional answers to your yes and no.
Determination is relative to your goal. So that's like say yes and no. If you are determined and what you are determined about, the goal you are determined about is a bad, then I don't know whether determination in itself is a good thing. But determination is only relative to your goal. You know, that's what it is. Determination is only. So if your goal is to destroy yourself and you're determined about it, then is it a positive thing? That's why I say yes and no. So remember what KK started by saying that your determination there has to be a goal. You know, forget that I said entrepreneur and all that. For each person, what is that goal? And don't make it a goal that is an everybody's goal. What excites you? What, you know, your goal is usually around that, should be around that. So if you're an educator right now and your goal is to be the best educator in that school where you are at, that's a goal. So, but if what about your goal is to, I'm going to show them, you know, they don't want to promote me. That's my goal. Is that determination now a good thing? So for me, determination starts with the goal. And it's important that this goal is very clear. It's important that this goal is very smart. It's very specific. It's measurable. It's achievable. it's realistic, and it's time-based. So my goal is that this year I want to my teaching certification. So it's a very clear goal. And then once you have a goal, the next thing is to break that goal into steps. So how will I get there? So those becomes mini goals. So I need to apply for the register in this university for it. I need to attend the classes. I need to take the exam, and I don't want to come out of the exam, with a pass. I want to come out with a distinction. So that is why I said determination is my yes and it's a no. In itself, determination on its own is very positive, because determination actually means a positive state of mind towards something, a unshifting state of mind towards something that motivates you towards something. That's what determination. So in itself, yes. But remember, determination is only relative to the goal.
So, Keke, please, could you answer the second question? What's the difference between waking up determined and staying inspired?
Waking up determined, like Titi said, I'm just going to jump on the back of what Titi said. Waking up determined is saying, there's this thing I want to achieve, and I'm going to do all that I can to stick with it and get it done. Being inspired is drawing from around you, from within you, positive affirmations, experiences. It's almost like the fuel that keeps you determined. So staying inspired and saying, you know what, I'm going to keep at this thing regardless, but I know that I do need some things to keep me going. It's the wind beneath my sails, and so I need to be inspired to do it. And inspiration is only so much if there's no action involved with it, right? So I can be inspired and do nothing, which is why what Titi said is so pivotal in actually getting something done. You have to take the necessary steps to say, you know what, I'm determined to do this. These are the steps that I'm going to take. And I am inspired by my low-hanging fruits. If I've done part 1, I'm inspired to keep going to part 2, to part 3. So you're going to have to create things that keep you inspired, or curate them based on exactly what it is that you need. But at the end of the day, it's not enough to just be inspired. So they're not the same thing, but it's not, may not just be enough to get the job done.
Thank you so much. So let's ask this question. What if being determined act as a threat to others? What's your take on that? Like, it's almost like you're now looking like the I too do, I too know. Or what's your own? Is it your dad that built this company? That kind of thing.
Rotimi, I would say, first of all, that your goal is really the defining moment. And your goal, the reason why you're getting to that goal, it must be very clear to you. It's what we call the why. Why this goal that you set for yourself? Why? So let's say, for instance, I made up my mind to be the best educator in that school. What's my why? My why is that I want to earn more money. So do you understand? So that's my why. I want to earn more money. Or my why can be that I want to impact the lives of the children, any child that comes in contact with me. I want to ensure that the child is fully impacted. That's my why. Your why can change. Don't think that your why has to always be, it's okay not to be selfish and you want to earn more money. It's fine. Have a clear goal, have your why. And so when you have your why, it helps you filter everything. Everybody that is not you is threatened by your success. That's just the truth. That's why it's important that you surround yourself with people that are enabling environment for your success. Everybody, I say it, a lot of people are threatened by your success. Once people are succeeding, they are threatened. If you are in a market and people like to come to your stall more than the other people, all the other people around you are threatened. So don't think that everybody is happy for you. No. When you are down, nobody is concerned about it. People like people that are down. But the moment they are up and up, then people are threatened. People that you don't even expect. Which is why that when you are selecting friends and when you are selecting your spouse, always always ensure that you're accepting people that are your fan club members. You can have a spouse, and this is true. You can have a spouse that is threatened by your success. So don't think that this threatened by your success is outside. You can have someone that when you marry,
Wow.
you had not started working. So he was the big one. He was the one that you were always going to meet. And then you now start working, and then suddenly you're doing very well in your job, you're getting promoted, and they start earning more than him. Then he's threatened. So don't think that, or you and your husband were the youngest in the family, and then you were the poor ones. You had this richer brother and sister, and the next thing, you and your husband maybe started a business, and you're up and up. And then the rich person that you used to look up to is now threatened by your success. You don't think that people that have been threatened by your success are outside and far, and even your school. Most people that are not your fan club members are threatened by your success. It's only your people in your, what I call your fan club, that are cheering you on. See KK's new program. Sis, go girl, go dance something. What's in me? I heard you went to go and see Minister of Education. Hey, my bros. People are threatened. Don't. If you are sitting down in one bubble thinking that they're not threatened, you're living in a bubble. People are threatened by yourself. Only people that really care about you, only people that really are hailing you. Everybody else is threatened. Forget that they're smiling at you. But should that stop you? No.
Yep.
What is your goal and what is your why? Why do you want to do that? That should be what should propel you, honestly, to wherever you're going.
Boss lady.
Good morning, everyone joining us. Florence, Audrey, we see you. Thank you for all the greetings. So Rotimi, back to you.
Someone is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. After flying away.
Good morning, everybody.
And running away, unapproved absence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's our duty. We're duty bound to introduce those who come on the show. So I have to introduce to you someone who just walked, ladies and gentlemen. We have the safety chick on the show this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning, Mr. Dewisi and Mrs. Ajayi. I'm very well, thank you.
How is your location?
How am I what?
How is your location, please?
My location is fine.
I am determined not to give you the excitement that you're looking for today. I woke up determined.
Okay.
I was ready for you.
Yes, I'll be determined. Determination is very good.
Safety chick, welcome to the show. Hello, blessing all the way from Abuja. This is the Good Morning Education Show. We are complete. We are excited. We know that you're learning, and we also want to learn from you. Please do not stop commenting, sending your questions so that we could answer that and answer them as well. Okay, so we have another question, right? And I'd like to ask KK and then probably Safety Chick to answer that question. What are we to wake up determined to do daily? Because it seems like Titi is saying wake up determined, Rotimi is saying wake up determined, KK is saying wake up determined. And KK, you mentioned that we must not do this. You must not pursue things blindly. You must hit things head on. So what can you help our audience understand some of the things they must wake up to, or they must wake up determined to do daily?
Okay. The first thing is you must wake up determined to win. I don't care what winning means to you. That's absolutely your business. But you must wake up determined to win every single day. Because as Tuti just finished, things are going to get thrown at you that you probably never expected. Your blind side is just going to be whammed. And you're going to be wondering, where is this coming from? But you're going to have to wake up determined to keep winning. Now, what you want to win is totally steep in your goals. So again, you must have goals. You must have something you are determining to do. All right. And then of course, you list it out. Once you have a list of what these things are determined to do are, You need to, so I was talking to somebody yesterday on Clubhouse, and he said to me, he said, look, I woke up today and I cannot pinpoint one thing that I have done today. And I said, well, I can be that way as well. But because I want to be functional, I want to be more purposeful about my day, about winning. I write out a list of my top priorities. So I have my planner. I write out my top priorities that I need to do every single day of the week. And I usually do that plan sometimes on Friday, sometimes on Saturday. I look into my week reflectively and say, oh, what didn't I do? What didn't I do properly? What must I do to ensure that I come out winning at the end of the day? I write them down. Sometimes I plug into accountability partner. So my PA is like a Grinch. In fact, I'm sure sometimes she's like my grandmother. She's on my case for certain things. So I hold myself accountable to a certain standard because I have given people that authority, if I may say so. So, right? So those are ways that you can't make up the, but you must first of all determine to do something, and then you have to actually act with it. Yes, accountability is a big deal. So wake up, like I said, to win, write out all the things you need to win at, put in timelines. If there are no timelines, then you really haven't done anything. Put in your low-hanging fruits. What are the things that keep me going on? And then, of course, I would say that there was one thing, it has flown out of my head right now. Maybe Safety Chick will catch it. But you need to actually have proper action steps that point you to the result. So there are three things. There's an acronym that I like to use. It's called OAR, OR. OAR, O is objective. What are your objectives? What are the actionable results that you have to make to ensure the actions that you have to take, I beg your pardon, to get your key results? So OAR, objectives, action, results. Yes, those three, if you wake up daily and you have that written out, it helps. So it's almost like your O, objectives, strategy. A, tactics, action. K, your results. All right, so you need to. Or Safety Chick, I think it's your turn to jump on that.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, Safety Chick.
Okay. Is Safety Chick still there? Safety Chick.
Hello. Safety Chick. But I mean, Titi, I could see that you were itching to say something.
Which part were you seeing that I was itching?
Hello.
Okay. So
okay. Your network is bad. We can't hear you. It's breaking. It's
Mr. JD has some cheaper days. Just hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me? I was already speaking. Yes. So I was saying that everybody has something that they plan to do per day, even if what you plan to do is to just survive. It's just that we all have different priorities. So for somebody, their priority might be, oh, I need to sell this bag of pure water because I need the money to survive for today. For some other person, it might be, oh, there is this person that abuses me when my parents are not around every day after school in this environment. How can I escape from this? So some other person might be confronting this difficult boss you have to show up to every day. For some other person, an entrepreneur, it might be, how do I make my business to grow? So every day, when everybody wakes up, there is something that needs to be done. The difference is some people do not sit down and plan. They just go anyhow into their day. And if you go anyhow, it's possible to expect anyhow, because if you don't have a plan, you are definitely setting yourself up to fail. Those that have a plan in place, and I really like what Mr. Ajayi mentioned about having a book, because I do that also. Every day I have a list of the things I'm expected to do, and I number them in order of priority. So there are some things that must be done. Some things, well, if they are not done, as long as the most prioritized ones are done, it's fine. So if we all have the plan, then the next step is making sure that it gets done. So whether it's you are hustling, you need to sell a bag of pure water, you know that, oh, I need to ensure that this bag of pure water is exhausted because I need my money. Whether it's you have a presentation, you know that, oh, I must ensure that this presentation blows the mind of everyone who listens to it. Whatever it is, but you've got to first identify that, oh, you need to do this today, and then when you have determined to do it, then you now push yourself, towards achieving it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Safety Chick, and of course, very memorable acronym OAR.
OAR,
Understanding
yes.
objectives, actions that will lead to your results. Fantastic. All right. So now talking about waking up determined at another level, we need to also ask, better still, not just ask, but what happens to those people with term killjoys, colleagues, superiors, subordinates, who just come with their own thing to bust your balloons? There are killjoys everywhere. So you wake up determined to do certain things, and certain things threaten the how do I put it, the objectives of what you want to achieve. How can people navigate such realities? I'd like to hear Titi. Um, what are your thoughts on that?
Sorry,
Because
take the question again, please. I missed out
how
the
do
part of it.
people, how do we navigate the risk of encountering killjoys, people who have a needle and their aim is to bust your balloon? Some people don't like being happy, and they're wondering why you're happy. They don't like being purposeful. They're wondering why you're purposeful. So how do we deal with such reality?
Okay, let me start by saying, if you are on a journey, I think I said a bit of it before. If you're on a journey, it's only when you are down, you are not hearing killjoy, you are not hearing naysayers. The moment when you begin to show a ray of light, a ray of success, a ray of achieving anything, it's like how light attracts, flies. All these flies when you have light outside. That's what it is. Naysayers will come. If you're not hearing naysayers, then know that you're surrounded by psychophants. Yeah. Because they will tell you, nobody has done this before. Mrs. Ajayi, other schools are doing this. So, are you sure the parents will be happy? Are you sure the children will learn? This technology cannot work. Oh. It's only a physical school. No. Nobody's interested in safety. It's only how the children will get AAA. No, the teachers, they cannot learn technology. It is just, there's just some people, and most people are like that, to be honest. They can only see it. And I always give this example. I'll give two examples just to let you know that most people always see the other side. They always see the glass half empty. It's just what I would say is normal for most people. Most people will always see the glass half empty. So what that means is that you have more people that will be killjoys and naysayers than you will have people that are positive. So I think it's just best that you prepare for it. I remember before telecoms came into Nigeria, people were talking, how the neighboring country, they had phones, and even up to their mechanics had phones and things like that. And a lot of people said it can never happen in Nigeria. No, Nigeria, everybody will have mobile phone. Never. A lot of people said that. This is how many years later? What do we have? We have everybody can get a SIM card, can afford a phone. So what I'm just saying is naysayers. I remember when they brought out the law of trying to enforce people to use their seatbelts, especially the drivers. People say, no, Nigerians, we are too how is it now? We are too unlawful. They follow rules. It can never happen. Now, I can't even enter my car. The first thing I do is put on my seatbelt. It wasn't always like that. So what I'm just saying is they would always, anything that you are doing, anything. I don't know anything that anybody will do that they will first of all be named. It can never happen. It can't work. This is Nigeria. Your business can't succeed. Government policies. But people are doing that despite all this. So will you have naysayers? Yes. Most of the people that you tell your idea to will be killjoys and will be naysayers. I think you should expect that and prepare for it. The important thing is, what is your goal? The important thing is surround yourself, break it down to smaller, and surround yourself with people that will help you. People will tell you, nobody in our school, in our house, has ever gotten to university. Nobody in our house has ever made it. Nobody in our house has ever had something. Like, there's a spirit in our house. Naysayers are all around you, and there's not all of them that have evil intention. The only difference is that they just don't know better. So what is your goal, and why? What's your why? Let those two things be your driving force. Surround yourself with people that are your fan club members, people that motivate you, people that propel you. Get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor that would help guide you to your goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. I don't know if anyone wants to add to that from TT, from Ugochi and KK. KK, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something, but I can notice that my network is slow. So I don't know if it's just me.
No, it's fine.
Is the voice?
Network is fine.
The voice is fine. Okay, yeah. So I wanted to mention that the reality is sometimes you have to develop something called a thick skin, because some of those words will get to you. But is that goal that you are looking at bigger? Is it important enough? If it is, then you have to develop a thick skin and say, regardless, despite this, I will go and do this. There was something that I did as well. There was one time where I was working and my boss, look, it doesn't matter what you do. It was never good enough. There would always be something to say to try and put you down. And I determined within myself, I said, if I did 5 things and you complained about all 5, next time I have to redo these 5, you would only have to complain about 3 or about 2, but you will not complain about the 5. So let naysaying prompt you to be the best that you can possibly be. Let it push you and cause you to, let it be your inspiration to be more. Let it give wind to that determination, prompt you to action. All right, because that's the reality. There would always be somebody that says something, and as Titi just mentioned, they may not mean it badly. It might even because they're worried that, hey, what if you fail? How will you feel? So that's not the problem. The problem is how you react to it, how you respond to it. So determine not to be reactive. Determine instead to respond to it by doing something that causes them to shut up. Rotimi said something yesterday on Instagram. He said, action, results shuts the mouth of people, right? Maybe not in so many words, but that's what he meant. And that's what I determined for it to mean. Let your results do the talking. Don't say because somebody said, and so you're going to stop. He who considers the weather will not sow seed. So you cannot be that person who is constantly considering other people and not doing anything.
I agree with you. I'll just also yes, I totally agree with that. It's just like when you have challenges, what do you do? So when you also have naysayers, it's the same thing. What do you do? So a strong why is so important, because see, if you don't have a strong why, at the point certain things come at you, just be like, well, I can't come and kill myself. I don't want to die. And that's not the attitude. That's not the attitude. So that strong why is so important. Then another thing is when people come at you like that, people should I are threatened by you also have to have an honest conversation with yourself. You must have an honest conversation with yourself. Do the math and say, why is this happening? Is it because this person actually has wrong intentions, knowingly or unknowingly, or is it and again, if you have a good self-awareness, you'd be able to know when you are on the right path and when you are not, regardless of what people are saying. So that's why your self-awareness must be very important, but you must be willing to have that honest conversation, because it's when you have the honest conversation with yourself and you see that, okay, maybe there is some atom of truth in what these people are saying, and then you now come up with what other systems can I use to ensure that this works? So using the example of, oh, the so and so cannot work in Nigeria, you ask yourself, okay, for real, is it that it cannot work? Why can it not work? What are the alternatives? And that kind of brainstorming can even help you to even come up with solutions that would ensure those kind of conversations with yourself. And then, of course, you'll be able to know the ones that are for real bad belly,
Network.
and you just ignore them. Moving on. And then, very important, you must have support systems, good support systems, so that even when you have those that you know that they would always say the truth and they are in your corner. And so for if your support system could be God, it could be family, it could be your friends, but by all means you need a support system, because like we said, and if you don't have thick skin, these things can get to you. So you've got to, be able to put yourself together, and then of course have safe spaces where you can have these conversations and you know that you are safe, basically.
Thank you very much. We were able to make a little bit of what you changed it to the network. All right. Olushola Lumbi saying anything less than a conscious commitment to the important is an unconscious commitment to the unimportant. So we achieve in relation to what we are serious about. And really, something I'd like us to recognize as we bring the show to a close today is that speed is the cement for determination. We find out that a lot of times, if you slow down, your determination seems to fade away. A lot of people tell you, "Oh, Titi, slow down. How many things you do in a year? Slow down, slow down." Sometimes the only time it is okay to say slow down is maybe for the reason of health or for the reason of rejuvenation. Outside that, slow down really in disguise is not slow down. Slow down is fade out. As long as you have strength, as long as you have purpose, as long as you have time, there is nothing like slow down. Ladies and gentlemen, slowing down kills every ounce of determination. But once there's speed, please put it up, because speed is the cement. And as you guys have rightly said, beyond thick skin, KK said, let naysaying push you to greater achievement. Let it push you to greater heights. Very, very important. And of course, you must always have a strong wife. Florence Okoji, thank you for resonating with that. And have an honest conversation with self and have a good support system and equally a safe space. So as we bring this to a close, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to hear from our analysts and experts their one word or one sentence sign off. So I'm going to start with Titi. I'm going to go to KK. I'm going to end with Ugochi. One sign off.
Determination is what will get you there. Don't give up.
Fantastic. Don't give up. KK.
There's nobody that can live your dream except you. If you want to live that dream, then you're going to have to do the things that ensure that that dream becomes a reality. Don't give up.
Wow. Don't give up. Second, see relatives talking together. The third person,
Yes.
Ugochi.
You have to own up, show up for yourself. Wake up, make up, and show up.
Those of us that are guys that can't use makeup, well, wake up and show up.
You rub white powder.
All right. Thank you so much. You guys have been awesome. It's been a great time talking with you.
Yeah.
Thank you to the audience. Thank you for those joining for the first time, those joining again in a long while, and those who continually join us all the time. It's been a great time today. And let me tell you this, wake up determined, right? You must not give up. And then if you don't give up, you eventually have what you truly desire. At the end of the day, you celebrate yourself, you celebrate others. And one thing about determination, if you are not the only recipient of it, a lot more people will benefit from your determination. So because of that, wake up determined. So we're ending the show with our usual mantra, which I believe is not just a mantra, It's something that we mean from the depth of our hearts to you. It's like a prayer. It's like a promise. It's like a pledge, and it should be your privilege. So, ladies, take it over.
It's
It is always
a great,
always
awesome,
a great morning on the Good
fabulous
Morning Notification Show.
morning and a good morning.
Fantastic. Thank you for today. Thank you. See you tomorrow. We're talking about something fantastic tomorrow. Bye.